G'day viewers, it's Jeff McPhee's Gardening, Melbourne, Australia. Today we're going to do some mulching. I'm just going to go through the process of how I mulch, how I do it, and give you some rough idea of how I charge and pricing. So I'm off to the yard. I use the same yard, and I'll explain why later, but I use the same yard each time I go there. I'm a great believer of using people that serve me well over the years, and I'll give them back that service. So if you treat me well, I'll treat you well, and I guess it's all the same, isn't it? We always want to be treated well, and we return the favour. So, but I think it's so important in our business is to establish some good contacts. Networking with contractors, having a good mower shop if you can, having a good supply yard, a good nursery. A good online service perhaps, but get that sorted out early in your business and it just makes life so much easier. Nothing better than, I mentioned I did a job the other day where I had a lot of plants and I had 2 plants short, and I rang and like we're talking 8-foot plants, and he was too short. So the nursery guy, he went out of his way to source another nursery to make sure it was got and delivered it on site. So by the time I got to get the last 2 plants to plant out, he had them delivered to me, all because I've been a reliable customer of his for over the years. And I do the same, and I guess you do too. Like this customer today, that's one of the 4 office complexes that I look after. Because they've looked after me, I look after them. And this particular job, they wanted it done in a hurry because they've got some special people coming down and they want the place looking a little bit better. So all I've got to do is just, once it's mulched, I'll give it a quick mow over tomorrow and it's all done. All right, so we'll go off to the yard and we'll talk to you then. All right, we're here today, mulching. You've probably seen this one in an old video a fair while back, but as you can see, we've just got to just remulch this area up and around. It's not a quoted one, but would have been, I would have worked out how long it'll take and the materials I use. But we'll use this as an exercise. So we're going to use a softball mulch. As you see, we've loaded it all on. Important thing is when you're transporting, tarp everything down, because the amount of stuff that can fly out of the trailer, and the pretty severe fines too now. I've got 1 3/4 metres of cubic metres of softball mulch. That's the softball mulch. It's they use it on kids' playgrounds, and why we use it in an office environment, that if anyone falls over, they're not going to hurt themselves on the mulch. It still presents as a decorative type mulch, and it's a safe mulch to use. As I say, they use it for kids, and it really works well. So there's 2 ways I do this. I use a wheelbarrow for open areas, and I use these plastic tubs for around the shrubs. So getting a wheelbarrow in amongst the plants here, it's a bit difficult, whereas you use a tub, it's a lot easier to manoeuvre. So what we do is just fill these up and then we spread them around the plants. Another little secret thing in mulching, long shovel. Don't bend the back. Try to keep the bending of the back to the minimum, because by the end of the day you can get pretty sore. This is a very small job today. It's only less than a couple of metres. It'll take me probably about an hour and a bit, and so all up probably about two hours by the time I went and got the material, spread it, clean up, type the invoice out, go home. So we just use this to get around the plants. It's quite easy to manoeuvre. Don't have to worry about using the wheelbarrow trying to get into hard spots. But I reckon, you could use the shovel. That takes too long. Now, another reason why you probably say, why didn't I put it all in the trailer? Well, softball mulch, that trailer holds 2 metres. I can only get 1.5 safely in it because it's so fluffy, it takes up more volume. So when you decide what mulch you want, just take in consideration how much you want to manoeuvre around in your trailer and whatever. So yeah, it's just a matter of spreading this around. I usually have a couple of inches thick because it's already got quite a few years of mulch underneath it. It's more of a topper, it's just a decorative one. When they come in Monday morning, they're going to go, wow, that looks great. As I'm going along, I clean up as I go. There's nothing worse. You pumped out a few metres of mulch and you get a bit tired and you go, oh, I've got to clean up. So I do a section and clean up as I go along. So when I put my last lot of mulch out, everything's cleaned up. It's a love battery, it's quiet. You could do this 6 o'clock in the morning, no one know you're here. Love it. Just a little tip when you're estimating on how much mulch you need, overestimate. There's nothing when you're sweating towards the end of the job, have I got enough, have I got enough, do I got to go back and get some more? If you can overestimate, it's a lot better if you can, but not always the case. But don't you love it? You're just getting towards the end there and you're going to be about, 3 or 4 of these short or a couple of wheelbarrows short, and you go, bugger, got to go back to the yard. So have a little bit more than not enough, I find. So we use a wheelbarrow for the large areas. This wheelbarrow, I've had this for a few years, a really whipper. Pneumatic tyre, make sure they're all pumped up. When you're ready for the job the next day, you put your wheelbarrow in the ute or the trailer, pump the tyres up, because a flat tyre is a hard slog. This one here, it's got a spout, so all the mulch is funneled down the spout and you can direct it to where you want to go. This job I could probably use these, but I'm just showing you that for large areas, use the wheelbarrow. Of course, really large areas, I use a stand-on machine, a little front-end loader. They call it a dingo. If I'm shifting 5-10 metres of mulch, you want a bit more than a wheelbarrow. It's a lot easier. It's only a few $100 a day to hire, and the customer's paying for that, so you don't have to worry too much about your hip pocket. Just another little add-on to your profit. The secret of a good back over all these years is use a long-handled shovel. Try to avoid doing that. Keep upright at all times if you can. And keeping upright just makes it so much easier. So my back is never bent. It's quite easy. And this soft full mulch, it's so easy to use. Now, you can use a shovel with this type of mulch. If it's a thick type of mulch, I'll use a fork, which is easy to penetrate into this. But because it's fluffy, the shovel glides through it easily. So if you've got a mulch that's compact, it's dense, sometimes it's more efficient to use a long-handled fork, a 3-prong fork. So I haven't got one to show you today, but it certainly works. So how do we estimate? Well, I find it easy to measure it up. Measure up the area, work out square meterage, and I use a formula. 20 square metres approximately will represent, a 3-inch odd, 2 to 3 inch of mulch for every cubic metre. So 20 square metres. So in this case, we're going to use a couple of square. There's probably a little bit more than 40 square metres, but because it's already been mulched, it's only really a top-up that we're going to do today. So it's just more of a decorative thing, but it was a fair dinkum mulch, 20 square metres, 1 cubic metre, 3 inches thick at least, 2 to 3 inches, maybe more, maybe 4 inches. But because it's already been done on an annual basis, there's a lot of mulch under there, and the soft wool doesn't break down like some other mulches do. As I say, we're using it for a decorative rather than a mulch that's going to serve a purpose. Okay, so we're all done. So you can see it's more of a decorative mulch, but it's a safe mulch, and because I'm using bamboos and that, so they don't need any water. We don't use a sprinkler system here because it doesn't need it, because it's such a tough plant, and for a commercial property, that's what you want. So there you go. So we're all happy, all done. Every cubic metre of mulch, for me, I allow 1 hour. So I can do 1 hour, 1 cubic metre mulch easily. Today I did an hour and a half, and I did 2. But when I'm estimating, I'll say, it's an hour for a cubic metre mulch. But the more more as you do, the more you lay out, the tighter you're going to get. So you've got to factor in. Remember the other day I talked about the difficulty factor, the one where you've got to add that extra in, because you're going to be tired. So after doing this all day, if I'm only doing it for a couple of hours, but if it was an all-day job, in my state, I'll probably be lucky to do much tomorrow. It'll be light duties tomorrow. Young bloke, you might be able to do it more, but you must allow that difficulty factor. All right, viewers, thanks for watching, and that's all we got today, and just a little simple video about mulching, and we'll see you in the next one.